If you've ever done any type of debugging, you'll be very familiar with the fact that debugs are extremely resource intensive. Why? Well, first of all, they change the way our routers behave. Our routers are designed to use Cisco Express forwarding, so to forward packets as efficiently as possible. However, if you turn on debugging, that changes the behavior. We no longer use Cisco Express forwarding, we use process switching. And process switching utilizes the CPU extensively, whereas Cisco Express forwarding tries to avoid the CPU as much as possible, and only if it absolutely needs to will it bug the CPU. So we're dealing with a very resource-intensive process here when we turn on our debugs. So if you enter a command, for example, like debug IP packet, and I'm going to warn you, do not do this right now in your production environment as a test. Sometimes you read something like, ooh, debug IP packet, what's that going to do? Let me tell you. It's going to turn your router from Ceph into process switching, and it is going to analyze every single IP packet in great detail. Everything. So you might be questioning, so why even have a command like this if it can cripple my router? Well, because you can control with a lot of debug commands what will specifically be debugged. For example, with debug IP packet, since that will look at every single IP packet, why not set up an access control list, either standard ACL or extended ACL, and specify which types of packets that you want to debug? So for example, let's say we are using debug IP packet and we only want to look at EIGRP packets. Well, what could we do? We could set up an extended access control list that is identifying EIGRP as the protocol. And we can say, for example, permit EIGRP any. And don't forget there's the implicit deny all at the end, at the very end of that ACL. So this debug IP packet command now has the ACL applied to it. And since the ACL is applied to it, it's only going to debug those IP packets that are related to EIGRP sourced from any going to any. That's it. So we're controlling the output of our debug process. Now you might even want to take that further. Instead of saying permit IP or permit EIGRP any, you can say permit EIGRP from this source to this destination, because maybe you're just having a trouble between two specific devices and you want to verify these IP packets. Yeah, there's certain EIGRP debug commands, but maybe you want to look at every single IP packet related to EIGRP. Well, you can do so, but you're going to have to filter that output now. And that's where this filtering comes into play. So now we have the ability to reduce how much this debug IP packet command will affect our router's resources. So if we just turned on debug IP packet, it would cripple us. But by adding an access control list, we can now reduce the amount of resources that are going to be utilized by the router while it's debugging the IP packets.